Hello, I'm the official narrator. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today, we're looking at the Violet exclusive box legendary Miraidon, and a nice little reminder, Toyota made a real-life replica of Miraidon as a motorcycle, and that's still the coolest fucking thing to me. I love the idea that my generation just grew up to be a bunch of fucking nerds, and they're like, yeah, but you know this thing from that video game or that anime? And they just make it real. Like, I love the idea of fiction being brought into reality. That's fun as hell to me. I'm alright with this idea. You can go ahead and name each one Scarlet and Violet if you want to, because I think their names are unique enough, unlike Dialga and Palkia, to where if you call it Scarlet and Violet, it won't sound stupid. But the idea of ultraviolet and infrared, I like that because that both plays on the concepts of light, and I think that's kind of cool. I kind of want to highlight these two together. They're both just like ridiculous, and I wouldn't use or recommend them. But the idea of like Windows 12 is like a really stupid joke, but I'm kind of okay with it. And then you could call like Miraidon like Windows 98 or something like that. But I mean, that's also a thing you could do with like Porygon. That would work, because a lot of people would do that. They'd name it like Windows 98 or XP or some shit. And then below that, they talk about the DeLorean from Back to the Future. And that's time travel. So that one, I guess, is kind of worth highlighting, because it's time travel car. And then I'm going to highlight this one just because I'm not sure if we'll come across it again in the future. Iron Serpent is the code name for Miraidon. So if you want to do Iron Serpent and Winged King, you can do that. That makes perfect sense. And I'm also going to recommend maybe checking out the Miraidon video, because I might explain shit better or just forget to mention something in this episode. But I also mentioned in the Miraidon episode the idea of taking the Karai and Mirai prefix and adding that to other Paradox Pokemon such as Karai Fan or Mirai Fan to replace Great Tusk or Iron Treads, because you could realistically apply that to any Paradox Pokemon you want, if you wanted. This one we talk about in the other episode as well, the idea of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. I think that's a good idea, that it's going to fit Miraidon better than Koraidon. And out of all of this, what was it? Dual Runner? I actually think Dual Runner fits Koraidon better, as he does run. And then if you could find a different way of spinning it, like maybe just calling it Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds or 5Ds or some shit, you could use that on Miraidon. I kind of love and hate this one. I wouldn't recommend it, but the idea of referencing both transportation and the sandwich, which the sandwich thing has come up a couple times, but I feel like no one's come up with a good enough sandwich-based nickname for it to like stick. Maybe call it like a club sandwich or a hoagie or a hero, maybe not hero. I don't know, but there's different names for sandwiches. Hell, you could just call one BLT. And if you could find a way to make that work, I would recommend that as a nickname for the sake of the joke. But so far, everyone's been kind of like really shit at the whole sandwich joke thing. So I'm going to tell you guys to step your game up. You could name it after a type of sandwich, for instance. PB&J and BLT, there you go. PB&J is perfect for Miraidon. It purple, and then BLT, the tomato, can be Koraidon. Look how easy that was. Now this normally would be like a break of the rules, because I think it's a bad idea to nickname one Pokemon after a different Pokemon. That's just stupid. But this at least has a joke in it, because it's Charizard, but instead it's a car, and you get it. I still wouldn't recommend it, but I'm going to say it's a step above. Like if you're living in the sewers, then this is like, you know, a few steps on the rung leading to the surface, but you're still in the sewers, you know what I'm saying? You're just not ankle deep in sludge, that's all. Volt Crasher, I'm trying to decide if I want to say that's on like some Tumblr idiot shit or some 8-year-old shit, or like maybe just, you know, Game Freak trying to think of a new move and they just secretly snuck it in here on Ranker. Right, Kyle? Where's Kyle? Spyro, I suppose this is a purple dragon, so if you want to do that, Mecha Spyro as an idea. Toothless, we see this all the fucking time. I get it. It's, what's it, Neverending Story or some shit? I don't care, I'm tired of it. Cyber Dragon makes me think of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I feel like there is some, maybe I'm thinking of Cybersaurus, I don't know. Surely there's some kind of like machine dragon fusion thing that you could reference from Yu-Gi-Oh! That would be akin to this, but better. Okay, they just felt like putting Volt Crasher on here 3 times. 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. Draco is just dragon, but like with 2 letters changed, it's dog shit. You know, I don't think we've ever actually seen Cyberpunk as a nickname before. And that really makes me want there to be a Paradox future version of, what's it called? Scraggy? Because that would be the perfect choice for Cyberpunk. Iron Thug. Make it happen. Drogon, we literally just made fun of this. For me, it was like, what, 20 minutes ago? It's Dragon, but with an O. Executioner, you could use as a Binding of Isaac Bayonetta style nickname if you want to. Totally fine with me. Smog, I recognize. We saw this recently. What's it, Final Fantasy? Lord of the Rings. Close enough. This one just says Dragon. They said Drogon. Fuck that. I'm just calling it Dragon. Norbert, that's Harry Potter. Personally, I just don't think it's that strong of a name. Guillotine's a move. Hatchet I had as, what, fucking Haxorus? But even still, I think that's kind of a lame name choice. I mentioned the idea of naming one of them Harley and the other Davidson, if you wanted to do that. If you're that hell-bent on making a Harley-Davidson reference. If there's others, like the only other fucking motorcycle thing I could think of is like West Coast Choppers, but calling one West Coast and the other's Choppers just seems weird to me. Right here, we mentioned this in the Cyclozar episode, and again right here, is fucking Miraidon, and now we're doing it here. All 3 of them have come up. The idea of Flintstones, Simpsons, and Jetsons. Past, present, future. I think that's a very strong idea, and if you can think of a thematic to tie these 3 together, absolutely, do it. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. So for starters, Terabyte. I want to say that we see very, very rarely, but you could use that as an electric bitey kind of name. That's fine. Oddly, kind of think I'm okay with grapes, but also not. So, like, hear me out. You go to grape school, right? And in Scarlet, you go to orange school. Now, you could choose to either name it after the school themselves being, I don't know how to say it in Spanish, I learned Portuguese. What's it, Naranja? And Uva. Uva is the same in both languages. It's orange, it's different. And you could name it like that, or you could just name one orange and one grape. But I also understand how naming the red Scarlet Pokemon orange seems kind of fucking weird. I don't know why they didn't name it like apple or something. Maybe it was trademarked. But a cherry. But just an idea if you want to lean in that direction. Hot Wheels I'm kind of okay with. I don't know if we saw that in the Revavroom episode or not, but I guess, you know, another recommendation for you that we have the Revavroom episode, there's the Cyclozar episode, the Miraidon episode. Those could all be relevant. What else exists? Fucking Go-Goat, I guess, if you want ideas. Deadbolt is a Thrice song, and I've never seen it anywhere else in the world, so I don't know if it's reference to that, or if just some fucking 12-year-old was coming up with something, they're like, yeah, that sounds cool. I've also, like, ignored this 50 times already, because it was on Ranker for both episodes, and I was just like, yeah, but I don't fucking care. And Google's like, yeah, well, you fucking should, you stupid bitch. And I'm like, alright, I'll acknowledge your shitty joke. Do you get it? Ride on, like, you're riding on it. Or, like, fucking Miraidon. Like, I get it. Yes, I see it. I'm ignoring it on purpose, because it's bad. Damn. That's why I was voted at the bottom of the fucking list, Ranker. Shenron is Green Dragon. That was popular for the Rayquaza episode. I'm gonna side with that. I also know, like, it's Dragon Ball, right? I know nothing about Dragon Ball, so it's just there. You know, after seeing, what was the other dragon, the thing on fucking Miraidon, I was like, this is probably Dark Souls as well. I was right, but I also wasn't sure, because there was a few that had silly names like this on Ranker, so if you Dark Souls, we probably all know about it. I guess I can use this to segue, because we saw on the Miraidon episode where someone named it like Aegis or whatever the fuck the stupid ass idiot makes. And like, it's a unique concept because we don't usually see nicknames based off what text the game chooses to type, because instead of saying Mirai or Karai, they just, you know, Yor or whatever the fuck. So if you want to do that, that's fine. But I'm also going to use this as an argument and be like, I never understood the concept of naming a Pokemon because they name themselves. The only thing you could decide is like, oh, well, this is Pikachu, not Chew Pika, or Kachupi, or something like that. Like, it can only say its name. It names itself. You just decide the order, I guess. That's really as far as the argument you could make. Alright, well, it's the end for Miraidon. We've looked at everything. We've reached the bottom. A reminder, there might have been things I mentioned in the Miraidon episode, so again, maybe take a look at that one so you can get the full experience of both of them. The only things I had written down were stuff written down from the, Miraidon episode, which is going to be like Iron Serpent and the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. And alternatively, if you feel like referencing the fact that Toyota made a real-life motorcycle based off Miraidon, there's another idea for you too. Comment suggestions, Chaotic somehow predicted the future, because I swear I didn't see him say Simpsons for Cycles at Art, but he did do Flintstones and Jetsons, which is crazy because, like, you realize I have to read these comments to screen cap them and, make these photos, right? But I don't remember any of them, because for time's sake, this was probably, fucking 5-6 months ago that I took this picture, and I don't remember him suggesting this, but he suggested the whole Flintstones Jetsons theme as well. I think it's a great idea. And then that's pretty much everything else we've already seen or talked about. And that was the only suggestion. We had 3 for Miraidon, 1 for Miraidon. It's weird. I felt like Miraidon was maybe a little more popular, but I guess not. I don't personally nickname legendaries. We talked about my recommendations. We looked at comments. I already asked you which version you bought, so there's nothing more to say. So I guess we'll go ahead and do our outro and say any other ideas and suggestions you have, feel free to put in the comments below. Let us know what you'd use or recommend. If you have themed ideas for Miraidon, Miraidon, and Cyclizar, that could help and strengthen nicknames. Technically, this is the last Pokemon from the Paldea Dex. So what I'm going to do is, you're going to see another trailer here, and I'm going to give anyone else that opportunity if they want to, because originally in the original Paldea trailer, I'm like, hey, we're going to cat to Miraidon, and that's where it ends. We're going to do the DLC stuff. I just want to take a break. So expect a trailer that's just giving you another chance to submit more nicknames for DLC Pokemon. And then I'll get back to you when it's all finished. How many episodes is that? So we technically have 15 more episodes. That's like 5 more weeks. But we're going to take some time off until I can get it all recorded. But I'm probably going to record it like as soon as possible. Because, we're almost done. It's going to be kind of cool to be like, hey, I did it. Go me. But yeah, just keep an eye out for that trailer, and then see you guys with more Pokemon and whenever the fuck it's ready and done.